Starseeds, and welcome to Soulful Sunday, a holiday edition. Wearing my little Santa hat. I hope everybody had a relaxing Christmas, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you were still able to get some downtime, some relaxation. We are going to dive in for the upcoming messages of the last week of 2021, starting from today, December 26th, all the way up until Saturday, January 1st. So let's dive into it. There's a lot of different energies coming around for everybody, especially right after the holidays. So one of the first messages from Spirit is to be aware that there is a collective shadow happening that's getting unearthed. We have individual shadows on our own that are coming up, shadow work, but there is also a family shadow that is coming up for a lot of us, especially since we just passed Christmas. Egos are flying high, patterns are flying high, people are getting triggered left, right, and center. So we're gonna look at this from a higher energetic perspective to see what is going on and taking the temperature from Spirit. So the message from Spirit in terms of the family shadow that's been coming up, in terms of disagreeing on things, different ways of living, different opinions on what's currently going on, etc., etc. We are being encouraged to take a step back and be the observer, like a third person observer, bird's eye view on the situation to see what it is that's really playing out here on a soul level. Anytime there are challenges, difficulties that we're trying to navigate, I always ask myself, okay, what is the higher purpose of this here? Like, what is this an opportunity for me to learn or for other people to learn? Because everybody involved has an opportunity to learn or evolve a lesson, depending on what it is that we need to learn. So taking a step back, becoming the observer, observing your individual role in the family shadow and taking responsibility and accountability for what role you play or what roles, patterns, projections you still partake in, if any, and are you ready to clear and integrate? So, I mean, everybody has their shit. No family is perfect, but taking a responsibility from a higher point of view in terms of what you need to own up to, but also being aware of how others have their own stuff and their own accountability that they need to step up and take accountability for, basically. So many of us are being faced with what we are willing and no longer willing to tolerate and put up with. And this is such an individual experience that, I mean, this is just a higher perspective from Spirit. So I'm not going to give any examples and I'm not going to get into any details because for each of us or anyone who's experiencing this, it's so nuanced and there's so many backstories and histories to what's playing out here with these family shadows that are coming up to get looked at by everybody in the family. And it's part of this evolutionary process that we're going through. Of course, there's family shadow stuff. Like, it just only makes sense that there's stuff that needs to get looked at from a familial level. So then the next thing that I heard was choices, choices, choices. So choose to lovingly detach or engage based off what is in alignment for you and the trajectory of your life. And that pretty much speaks for itself. And if you need to take some time to think about things and take a step back, you can do that too. But I think the point of me coming on here today is for Spirit to let you know that you are not alone and it's not just you and your family experiencing this. There's a lot of shit coming up for a lot of people right now because Christmas has been so on the forefront, the front stage for all of these triggers and patterns and everything to get activated so that they can come up to be cleared and released. So the next message from Spirit is still holiday related. So this mostly relates to if you do celebrate Christmas or any holiday around this time, that there are, it's okay to have mixed feelings of joy, apathy, nostalgia, maybe a bit of detachment, a bit of melancholy too. If it wasn't a very Merry Christmas for you, that's okay. Like, just think about everything that we've all had on our plates individually and collectively the last little while. So if this Christmas felt a little bit different for you, Spirit is just acknowledging that you are not alone in these feelings, despite what everyone might be posting on your social media or what everybody is saying. Some people might have had a very wonderful Christmas and it was completely perfect, good for you, but chances are there were a lot of us that had a little bit of both, a little bit of mixed feelings with things that have been going on. So Spirit is saying this is perfectly normal. We are still processing the last 2 years and shifting and transitioning into what will eventually become the new normal or new earth. An important note here that what we are in now, what we are experiencing now, is a transition / upheaval of the collective human shadow. So this that we're doing and navigating and experiencing is not the new normal. It's just a period of time in transition. So they just want to point that out to all of us, which is a good reminder and pretty reassuring, at least for me anyway. And the third message is about New Year's Eve, which is coming up this Friday, the 31st. So just reflecting in terms of, I kind of wrote it in slang, which is interesting. What are you leaving? What did you learn? What are you bringing? And what are you calling in? So those 4 things to reflect on, and I'll say them again. What are you leaving? What did you learn? What are you bringing? And what are you calling in? So maybe writing all that stuff down on a piece of paper for yourself, and you can like burn it if you'd like in a fire ceremony, or you can keep the paper, but I think it's important to be reflective of not just the challenges that we've experienced this year and how far we've come, but also what have we learned? Like, what do you know now that you didn't know a year ago in terms of your level of consciousness and how you've up-leveled your soul, or what challenges have set you back but have given you a new perspective or spin on things that you didn't have before. So reflection as we move forward, but also looking at what you'd like to call in for yourself, what you'd like to call in for the collective as well. Probably a little bit more peace, a little bit more harmony, a little bit less division. A lot of that kind of goes back to that family shadow stuff we were talking about, the division and the unity that's playing out within families right now very strongly. So calling that in for the new year for yourself, for your family, for the collective, really important, because you have a lot more power than you think you have, and when all of us are united together and we're all calling in things in unity and new earth, it can really change, and things shift first on an energetic level before they can ever trickle down to the physical. But also keeping in mind that there are certain things that need to play out regardless of what you want to call in. Certain things need to play out and get cleared before these things can come in, so just being conscious of that. And then a really cool message that I got at the end, it's not really a message, just sort of a, I guess, tidbit of information, is that there are lots of harmony frequencies from the angelic realm that are hitting Earth at this time to help. So that really comforted me, and I hope that that comforted you, and I hope all of these messages comforted you. And I think, you know what, I'm going to pull a card. I'm going to pull one card for this week, and I'm going to use the White Light Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Now, I'm not too familiar with this deck, so I'm going to pick a card, and then I'm going to just read from the book, because I'm still kind of getting to know this deck, to be honest. And there's a lot of nice messages with these cards. So we're just going to ask if we could pull a card for the collective for this upcoming week. Okay, I've pulled 2 cards, so I guess we will do 2. So the first one is Sovereign Queen Maeve, and then the next one, I hope I pronounced this right, is Oracle of Chaldea. So we are going to read just the extended messages for these cards. So first we'll do Sovereign Queen Maeve. So I think that's an interesting word, sovereign, that's coming up. Oh wow, Okay, so the descriptions in this book are pretty long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will read a little bit. I'm going to try to hold up the card while I read to you. Okay. So, Sovereign Queen Maeve, value what is sacred to you by protecting it from interference, even that which may be well-intentioned. Be compassionate but set firm boundaries. You are going to triumph over a negative situation. It will take courage, but you have more than enough inner strength, resourcefulness, and boldness to accomplish what you wish to attain. Do not give up. You have the ability to connect with higher worlds, so open your heart and mind to the light. Wow. So I take that as direct interpretation, or shout out to the family shadow stuff we were talking about. If you have to set some healthy boundaries, you got to do what you got to do, you know? I'm just going to read the last little part of this card because I think it's important. Do not allow your destiny to rest in the hands of others. Recognize that the light within is your true ruler. You have the power to light yourself up with spirit. Commit to what you can do and believe the realms of the divine are working with you. Do not be dissuaded. You shall be victorious. So I think that is an awesome message. And then next we are going to go to Oracle of Chaldea. All right, so here she is. Continue on your healing journey with enthusiasm, but without forcing things to happen more quickly than feels natural. Sometimes the body will be ready to let go, whilst the mind is still holding on. At other times, the mind may need to be patient as the body processes an experience. Trust in your own timing and rhythm. There's no need to be impatient or to judge yourself. You are summoning the spiritual fortitude to tackle an issue which has previously held you back. When the time is right, the healing shall happen more easily than if you tried to push forward prematurely. Things are going to work out. Be positive. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm sort of feeling like those are the messages with both of these cards. So pretty complimentary in my opinion. And yeah, so we're just going to recap because we always do a recap of all the messages. So the 4 messages for this upcoming week. Family shadow, taking a step back, being the observer, setting boundaries where you need to, and just being aware of the family shadow and everything that plays out and goes along with that. Mixed feelings of joy, apathy, nostalgia, melancholy about Christmas or the holidays in general. Totally normal. That this is a reminder that this is not our new normal. We are just on our way to a new normal. If anything could ever be called normal, I don't know. If you can think of a better word, let me know. And then 3rd message, just being reflective around New Year's about what you've learned, what you're leaving behind, what you're going to call in for yourself, self-reflective, self-awareness related questions. So yeah, sorry, it's the 3 messages, and then that 4th message or reminder that there are lots of harmony frequencies from the angel realm hitting Earth at this time to help. So there you have it. Those are your messages for the upcoming week. We've got 1 week left of this year. Make it count in whatever way you can, whatever way you need to. And if you just need to take the week to just relax and do nothing, if you're able to, please do that. And please be kind to yourselves this week. It's been a hell of a year for a lot of us. So as we wrap this year up and move forward, let's keep our heads held high and remember how far we've come and everything that we've learned. I hope these messages were helpful. If they were, please drop a like, comment, share it with other people, and I will see you next week for the first Soulful Sunday of the year, which will be Sunday, January 2nd. Take care. Namaste. Ciao.